Hello, I'm Askar Sherlief and you're watching the news from Kazakhstan. The operational headquarters of the country's emergency ministry, led by its head Vladimir Bashko, visited East Kazakhstan region on Wednesday.
The difficult situation in the region forced the emergency minister Vladimir Bashko visit East Kazakhstan. Together with a group of specialists and the governor, he will learn about the current conditions in the area. It is expected that he will visit several locations in 2 days and then will hold a meeting with officials to discuss flood prevention options and rescuers work coordination. Currently, the Tarbagatai area of East Kazakhstan is affected the worst. More than 11,000 head of cattle and horses have been killed there already. Dozens of villages and hundreds of homes were flooded. In fact, the information changes every hour. Meanwhile, humanitarian aid is being delivered to the area even by means of military vehicles. In the neighboring areas, the flood situation is more stable. However, rescuers expect this to change soon due to current warming.
The search for the missing is still underway in Kazalagash, while 3 other villages of the Almaty region are under the threat of flooding due to overflow of the river Lepsa. 110 residents have been evacuated from the area. To the other news, on Tuesday, the trial of the Talmas union leader Aynur Kurmanov was postponed until March 25th. The hearing at the Almaty Administrative Court is delayed due to illness of the judge. Aynur Kurmanov could be sentenced to 15 days of arrest if found guilty of organizing a protest near the office of ATF Bank on February 24th. On that day, workers of Pervomay mechanical plant from Ust-Kamenogorsk picketed the bank. Activists of the movement Leave Houses to People also supported the workers. None of the participants were detained except for Aynur Kurmanov, who says that he participated in the event as a journalist on assignment for the newspaper Svoboda Slova. Apparently, Kurmanov never organized the people and didn't hold any posters in his hands. Nevertheless, he's the only one who received a notice of appointment from the court. If they sentence me to 15 days of arrest, it will be illegal and groundless. The top managers of the company Eurasia Logistics, which were recently arrested in Moscow, are suspected of embezzling $2 billion allocated by the Kazakh BTA Bank in the form of loans to implement projects within Russia. However, the investigation department of the Russian Internal Affairs Ministry failed to explain how exactly the funds were embezzled. At the same time, major financial partners of Eurasia Logistics, including Vneshekonombank and Eurohype, never found anything suspicious during their numerous audits, nor did the government of the Moscow region, which signed the agreement with the company.
Reporters are not allowed inside the offices of Eurasia Logistics, although it is already known that all computers, documents and stamps were seized during the searches operations. Investigators suspect company's top management in the theft, but does not specify what was pocketed and how exactly it was done. In 2009, Eurasia Logistics was the market leader with more than 1 million square meters of storage space in Moscow, Yekaterinburg, Novosibirsk and Kazan. Employees are puzzled since the numerous inspections in the past failed to reveal any illegal means used for the development of the business. Eurohype, the largest bank in Europe, is the partner of the logistics center in North Domodedovo, while the state corporation Vneshekonombank is the partner of Bektal Logo Park in Tatarstan. These major financial institutions held a detailed technical, financial and legal audit, which suggests that the company maintains transparent business in accordance with the highest standards and legislation of the Russian Federation. The tripartite agreement with the local authorities and the Moscow regional government was signed during the construction of the Logo Park near Moscow. The right to conduct business was gained through the construction of the city's major storage facilities, roads, gas distribution stations, hundreds of kilometers of utility networks, and numerous other locations. The next joint project was to be Konstantinova.
Only master plans of micro-districts and industrial zones have been developed so far. There are no projects designs because their creation requires substantial assets and engineering efforts. It is a serious work of professionals. The team that worked on the project, let's call it the Eurasia Group, had such professionalism. It is difficult to say who will implement it from now on.
Who is interested in assuming the place of Eurasia Logistics on the Russian market? Currently, this is the burning issue on everyone's mind in Moscow. Very few believe that the charges against the top management are well-grounded. In any case, the fate of the company's leadership will depend on the objectivity of the ongoing investigation.
On Wednesday, representatives of another major company were questioned in Almaty, although in absentia. The children's drawing competition was held under the name The House Which Was Never Built by Sert. The action organized by Shared Construction Investors was held in the office of the Housing Association. 15 children participated in the competition. Paintings reflect a very unchildlike sincerity. Someone has even portrayed rallies as well as the current condition of apartments the 800 families cannot enter since 2005. For the fourth year, the leadership of the construction company refers to the crisis, explaining why it cannot complete the project.
We have to live in rented apartments, constantly looking for ways to readjust the family budget to pay for it. We have been waiting for the apartment for so long, but still do not know when it will be ready.
The Prime Minister of Kazakhstan, Karim Masimov, also spoke about the issue of housing on Wednesday. Country's bankers reported to him some alarming news. Apparently, there might be not enough money for the completion of problematic housing. Sometime in the second half of the year, there could be a deficit of funds. What deficit are you talking about? About 14 billion this year. Karim Masimov participated in a meeting during his two-day visit to Almaty. It was reported to him that more than 40 apartment blocks for mortgage housing will be ready in Almaty this year. The city still faces the issue of about 10,000 equity constructors. It is necessary to finish 33 apartment centers where constructors' money was invested. 5 of these projects are financed through the Fund Samru-Kazana and 7 through the Stress Assets Fund. 15 residential centers are being completed independently by developers. In total, 16 out of 33 centers will be finished in 2010 to provide housing for more than 4,000 shareholders, which is a little less than a half of those in need. The need for fundamental solutions is growing rapidly within the pension savings system. The reason is simple, as the current realities in Kazakhstan do not allow pensioners to save any money.
The future of the pension services market was discussed in Almaty on Tuesday. Over the next 2 years, the strategy of savings funds investing will be changed. The Financial Control Agency proposes a new system of multi-portfolio. There are 3 possible strategies: aggressive with high risks and high returns, moderate with 50-50 profitability and risks, and conservative, which automatically covers all investors of pre-retirement and retirement age. Investors who have retired are at the greatest risk, and that is why they are offered an investment portfolio which reduces their risks to a minimum. Meanwhile, this was the first year funds were able to show any profits. Representatives of the Pension Savings Fund claim that the biggest problem is the lack of the stock market development, as there are no investment opportunities within the country. The loan securities return almost no interest, and even if there is an interest, it is negated by the inflation. The dropping market interest rates impact our profitability. For example, a year ago, state securities were traded at up to 6%, whereas now the same securities are traded at under 2.3%.
То сейчас такие же бумаги размещаются по 2%, по 2,3%.
The state securities market is stable but unprofitable. That is why the Pension Savings Fund offers investors to take risks, but with the same responsibility.
If an investor doesn't care how his savings are coping with the inflation, he may prefer a portfolio composed entirely of state securities.
In the heat of disputes about the investment strategies, Pension Savings Fund forgets about the investors. Hence, the question of why ordinary citizens should be responsible for pension assets if they have already entrusted them to funds is still without an answer.